look at a sandwich and see it look back in a pitiful look or a shameful look or...
Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you are sleeping. Obese patients come with a goal to lose weight on My 600-Pound Life. However, in the beginning, their determination usually gets challenged, which is one of the most frustrating parts of the show, because if people were serious towards losing weight, then the people around them contribute to their weight gain. I'm talking about the enablers, who could be anyone from friends to family members. Well, in today's video, you are going to see guest partners who are enablers on My 600-Pound Life, who keep feeding them food even though they weren't supposed to. Bethany Stout. Bethany, a 40-year-old mom dealing with obesity, appeared on the show and was honest that she relies on food and can't stop eating, because food gives her comfort and helps her to self-medicate from her depression and anxiety. In fact, she claimed that she would even trade food if she could. For the family, Bethany's daughter, whose age is just 18, does most of the mothering. But the actual ruler of the home is Bethany, as from her firm chair, she still rules the household, and her husband Sheldon, as throughout the episode, he seems pretty quiet and doesn't seem to do much about this dynamic. Not just that, he's the biggest enabler for Bethany, as he takes the view that if Mama wants it, Mama gets it. On his office break, Sheldon comes home every day to bring Bethany her next meal, so around the clock she can keep eating, and he's never had thought of confronting her related to her dreadful, unhealthy lifestyle. He stands with a thought that he will never tell her how to take care of herself, but since he's actively contributing as well, therefore, he really can't claim that he's just leaving her to her own devices. Betty Jo. When it comes to talk about Betty Jo's story, then you know that her husband Josh is surely an enabler who has been enabling her unhealthy food habits since they are together. But you might feel surprised to know that the most worrying thing about her husband is that he's dangerously attached to his role as his wife's full-time caregiver. In fact, he knows and even admits that the food he has given her is actually a slow suicide and is about to kill her because she is eating food to death. Even he's accepting himself that he is even helping her to kill herself. According to Josh, he is afraid that if Betty loses the weight, then she might not going to need him anymore, and that he could see it happening already. Josh is quite straightforward and unambiguous, his words describing that his own goals don't align or line up with Betty Jo's weight loss goals. At Betty Jo's appointment with Dr. Now, he says some pretty chilling stuff that is unbelievable for the viewers to hear him say such things about his own wife. Even he shares on the cameras that his biggest fear is not her dying on the operating room table or even being turned down for surgery, but the biggest worry of his that if she loses the weight, she'll no longer need him or something. So, therefore, he keeps enabling her. It's really pretty messed up relationship. Freddie and Shanae. A participant weighing 665 pounds named Shen Marie got featured on the show as the heaviest to be known. At the beginning of her episode, we don't see her husband Freddie do anything terribly awful, but he's definitely passively enabling her for years, as it seems that he doesn't care about his wife because he doesn't confront her or stop her by saying no to anything while grocery shopping. Because of his careless attitude towards his wife, as when she's supposed to be on a controlled diet, he is the one who actually sneaks and sneezes junk food in the hospital. Therefore, Freddie becomes one of the worst enablers on the show. When he brings pizza for Shanae, he was probably the one who carried out the plan to actually dispose of the pizza box and other trash, as obviously he's more mobile of the two. He made it look like the box belonged to another patient. When Dr. Now called him out on the sneaking junk food under his radar, Freddie also jumped to take the blame when Shanae immediately called him that the pizza box belongs to Freddie. Maybe the two also planned in advance to help each other to get away with it. Despite the fact that Doctor wanted her to lose weight, she stopped taking his advice and ended up gaining more weight as being stubborn. Tommy Johnson. Tommy Johnson, who lives with her fiancée Amanda at the age of 30. Amanda is the one who literally takes care of him and his daily do activities, everything around the house, which includes cooking, cleaning, and bringing 8 meals of the day for Tommy. There's a twist. I want to add that actually Amanda was engaged to someone else before Tommy, and his ex-fiancée was over 700 pounds, and 2 months before she met Tommy, he passed away. By the way, Amanda doesn't seem to be doing much to stop it, in spite of Amanda describing in graphic detail how she could literally see her late fiancé deteriorating before he died. Not just that, she knows what could happen to Tommy, but still she brings heaps of junk food for him that she already knows isn't good for him. In fact, she even on the way to Houston, obliging his need for fast food. When the couple reaches Dr. Now's office, he notices that Amanda herself is severely overweight, so he also points out that they both are actually enabling each other to eat unhealthy food. If you ask me, then I would say that it's honestly a total shame for Amanda, and even a little bit of theory that she hasn't learned anything she was supposed to learn from whatever happened with her late fiancé, as she isn't applying anything in the case of Tommy. James King. In the case of James King, his fiancée Lisa was one of the most notorious enablers on the My 600 Pound Life show, as she is the one who is seen bringing every single forbidden food item to James or whatever he asked for. But the worst thing, as a fiancé, she was doing was enabling him, despite the fact that no matter how much closer to death he was still getting all the unhealthy junk food he wasn't supposed to have. With the two of them, Dr. Now got pretty furious several times. He always made sure to point out Lisa's enabling him, as he knew that she is the one who was making him overeat, and even he pointed out how she was basically feeding him to death. But to your surprise, she was so rigid and stubborn that no amount of Dr. Now's strict lecturing literally made Lisa stop. As within the hospital when James was monitoring under the medical professionals, she was seen sneaking him junk food. By the way, not only this, she even helped him at home to cheat and break his diet plan given by Dr. Now. Since predictably no change for James's health or attitude ever came about, with Lisa still waiting on him, hand and foot. In fact, he called Adult Protective Services on James King's girlfriend when he found out that James's girlfriend was bringing food for him in the hospital. Well, because of overeating of junk food, King's organs started failing, therefore, he got canceled and he wasn't showing any improvement. Well, in April of 2020, James King died at the age of 39, according to TMZ. LaShanta. LaShanta got featured on the show in season 7 when she first met with Dr. Now in Houston. She was weighing 662 pounds at the time, and because of her overweight, she had been bedridden for 2.5 years. By the way, the enabler of 39 years old LaShanta was her boyfriend JT, whom she met when she was in the hospital, and they both apparently saw each other while she was lying on a stretcher, and both fell in love at first sight. On the show, when LaShanta's boyfriend JT comes with her to Dr. Now's appointment, he claims that he has always been attracted to big women, and the reason behind it was that because he feels that large women are nicer and more cuddly. By saying such words, he very clearly valued his own preferences over LaShanta's quality of life since they started dating each other. JT has been taking care of her and enabling her junk food on their first date, which took place when LaShanta was bedridden. Enabling her food and groceries brought her more complicated weight problems, and by staying unbothered by her health issues, because he would only take care of her as long as she stays as big as he likes. After the appointment with Dr. Now, this becomes so clear when JT let LaShanta to know that for what he is actually worried. His biggest worry was that if she would lose too much weight, sure enough he would break up with her early after this, because he fears that he would lose his attraction to her. If you ask me, I would add that she's probably better off without such a mean and selfish person. But it's literally sad that the one reason behind her failure was probably him, as he left her without any support. Lee and Renee. Lee and Renee, at the ages of 42 and 39, both have a massive weight problem. Therefore, they come onto the show together. They both used to seem sharing in the food addiction and seem to encourage bad eating behavior in one another. For instance, if their helper, who is Lee's sister Casey, doesn't make what they want to eat or ask for, they both get mad at her for the single reason. Do you know what's even more sad and pathetic thing related to their situation? Actually, that is, they actually met each other in a bariatric clinic where Lee visited that place when he started worrying that he was losing his mobility, and he was aware that he needed to get some aid, but instead of all that, he met Renee there. Since then, the two fell in love at first sight and left the clinic to become each other's neighbors and lovers, continuing to let their overweight spiral out of their control together. Well, that's all guys for today with guest partners who were enablers on My 600 Pound Life. Thanks for watching. And if you guys found it interesting, I would much appreciate it if you comment down below about this video and leave the thumbs up. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.